What's up, guys? Today I've got a pretty interesting tutorial for you and one of my favorite kits. I love the camphor. I love the master grade camphor. I've done the master grade. I've done the camphor amazing from Build Fighters. And I was so tempted to go back and buy another camphor because I'm not super happy with the way this one finished out. I built this one early on when I was building, maybe 2 or 3 months in, not long after I got my first airbrush. And I don't think it looks bad. But now, like the way I'm building and as much time as I spend on them, I look back at this kit as it sits in my display case and kind of wonder where I went wrong. And it's mostly on like the textures of the green, even the color of the green. So I'd appetized buying another camphor, but instead of spending 45 bucks to replace the camphor, I wanted to try out something one of the guys at my local hobby shop told me about. And this is removing the enamel and the acrylic paints with a simple degreaser from a local hardware store. I'm pretty sure everybody's got them around them. We're gonna be using SimpleGreen from Home Depot. It's about 10 bucks for a big bottle like this. This is a gallon of their SimpleGreen degreaser. So he said that as long as those go in there, they can just sit for a little while. It should strip off just about any paint that's on there. I'm curious if that's actually gonna work for like lacquer paints. So if it has a lacquer based top coat, I'm not sure how it's gonna strip off. If it has lacquer, just a base color on there, like some of this chrome right here has a lacquer all clad black with a lacquer metal flake in it. Like the, I forget what they call it, I think it was the chrome finish. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not displeased on how it came out, but I'd like to redo it. I'd like to freshen everything up or even go with a different color scheme. So what we're gonna do is take some of the parts off of this. We're going to soak it in the SimpleGreen for a few hours, and I'll pull it out every once in a while just to kind of see where it's sitting. So I'll get back to you guys in just a few minutes. Alright, so here we have all the parts for just one of the arms disassembled and organized, just kind of separated apart so we don't have, any pieces that are going to be kept from having all this color removed, except for right here. I didn't want to separate the arm because I want to lose whatever polycap is in there. I'm not super concerned about that because you don't see a whole lot of this, mostly just this and the caps that go right here. So everything is all separated. And if you're handling a degreaser or paint or thinner or, any kind of just strong chemicals, always wear gloves. Super, super important because this stuff is going to eat through this paint, it's going to eat through your hands. So we're going to fill it up. And as long as this works out the way I'm hoping it does, I'll do a bigger batch. I'm kind of losing the parts in there. This is more of a test. So as long as this works, I will submerge most of the rest of the kit in here. And we'll just see where it sits. I'm gonna leave this uncovered for a little while, and I might cover it back up so it can just sit in the bath. And I'll get back to you guys, say, in about an hour, and we'll see where it's at. So guys, after about 5 minutes, I yanked out the hand, which was just covered in the acrylic silver, and it's got everything off of there. You can still see the mold marks on here from where I painted over. This is part of the reason I was really unhappy with the kit, but that worked awesome. I'm curious how it's gonna do with the acrylic clear colors from Tamiya. The Tamiya, like candy red and candy blues and stuff that I've used, and it stripped off just the silver really, really quick. It looks really, really nice. Everything looks nice and still there. Might have a couple little parts to go back out of there. I'll throw it back in. That works really good. Alright, I'll get back to you guys in a bit. It's been about an hour, and I came down to check out my gelatinous soup of degreaser and paint and parts. And what I was left over with was this. And I pulled out one of the parts. I'll pull out another one just to show you real quick. Let me see. And it got just about all the color off of there. A little spot where it was floating around, I'm guessing, resting on it. But this is the larger shoulder piece. And you can see what a crap job I did when I was building it. So I'm really excited to redo this one, and it worked super well. Even on the inside, everything is nice and clean and empty, where all the silver and the green was sprayed on the inside of there. I didn't separate these parts because I did my first attempt at seam line removal. I wish I'd have had my tutorial a year ago when I did this, but it turned out really good. It turned out really good. So this is something I can suggest if you're trying to remove the acrylics or enamel paints. Let me find my other part in here real quick. Lacquers, not so much. Still bright and shiny with the black lacquer and the all-clad chrome on top of that. So we'll leave it in there for a little while longer. I'll leave it in overnight just to see how it sits. But rubbing against it a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of the all-clad come off, but not very much. I think this might be one of the parts we just have to sand and clean up, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it got all that nice shiny green off of there, so we can just clean those parts up, fix where we had done our initial damage, and redo it. So I'm really excited about that, but I think this is a super viable way to get your enamels off of there or your acrylics off of there but I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of luck with your lacquer paints. So give it a shot, guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can with a new tutorial. Thanks, guys. Gloves. Need to be wearing gloves, 'cause this shit is bad for your hands.